An ardent football lover not watching the National Football League NFL or keeping up with its updates is a scary, rather impossible event. It's obvious that we're well aware of the NFL overtime thriller, right? Even if you aren't, we're here to give you the complete set of news regarding this landmark event in today's video. A jaw-dropping incident indeed in the history of the NFL. Just after this ridiculous finish in the match, tweets from renowned sports and other eminent personalities started pouring in. Starting from Tom Pelissero's tweet, "What did I just watch?" to Adam Rank's remarkable tweet, "Play this game forever." This unique, hilarious end of the game has drawn a great deal of attention globally. So, what's this NFL event everyone's talking about? Let's see. Gear up to dive deep into the world of the NFL and get constant bouts of laughter. World loses it after ridiculous finish in NFL overtime thriller. A 31-yard TD pass was thrown to Zay Jones by Derek Carr just after the Raiders exhausted their quota of overtime. Do you know what happened after this? The Baltimore Ravens got a severe beating in the team's first and foremost game with the fans in Las Vegas. This happened on the 13th of September, just on this Monday night. Then came Carr's second TD pass of the game just after the strip sack of Lamar Jackson at the hands of Carl Nassib at the Ravens' 27. Nassib had already made his name in the sports breaking news during this recent offseason. Do you know what that shocking revelation is? Nassib had disclosed to the public in general that he is a homosexual. This made him the first ever active player of the NFL to emerge as a gay. Coming back to the NFL event, so what happened is that the Raiders had directed an interception. This was done after driving to the one on the beginning possession of overtime. They made yet another blunder by delaying the game before going for a field goal try. So what happened after this? We'll be sharing with you now, so keep the level of your excitement intact. As can be predicted, Coach John Gruden ordered the offense to be dispatched back on the field. And just then, Carr surpassed Jones on the coming play for the winner of the game. This event sparked zillions of tweets and social media. Know what Warren Sharp had tweeted in this context? Warren's an athlete and had even reached the pre-Olympic round. His tweet is a notable one. "Hard work pays off." Two fuming angry emojis in place. Cool of Carr to share this Zay Jones anecdote. Sal Cappuccio had also made a fun tweet. Let's see what that is. Of course, the only way for this game to properly end was for Zay Jones to score a game-winning touchdown. Deshaun Reed also didn't keep shut. His tweet is really attention-grabbing. Zay Jones ends it with a 31-yard touchdown after the Raiders won the game, then didn't win the game. Then got a strip sack, then tried to win it again with a field goal, then decided they wanted 6. Hell of a game. This loss eked out a not-so-smooth stretch for the Ravens. They just underwent a roll of injuries that marginalized the top 3 running backs. Do you know who they are? Well, these include Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and Justice Hill. Oh, did we mention Marcus Peters? The 5 openers in the past saw them gaining victory by a noteworthy margin of 177-26. However, they could not make their appearance felt longer due to a tough game from Carr, who threw for a great distance of 435 yards. So what was happening before overtime? A tough back-and-forth fourth quarter that characterized the Raiders parading to tie the match on 3 distinct occasions. Ultimately, Carr drove Las Vegas to an almost tying 55-yard field goal in the last 37 seconds. What's interesting is that the Ravens have taken sufficient lead at the time when Jackson had scrambled for 28 yards to aid the setup of Justin Tucker's 47-yard field goal. That's the reason Jeff Spursky tweeted, "Ridiculous finish for John Gruden and the Raiders." Want to hear another funny tweet by Damian Lillard? Well, here goes for you. LMAO, we made it harder than I would have liked, but Raider Nation comes out on top. Previously, the Raiders received a forced fumble against Jackson by Quentin Jefferson to establish the 15-yard TD run by Josh Jacob. Thus, the game got tied at 17. Interestingly enough, the Ravens bounced back when the former Raider Latavius Murray just ran it in from 8 yards. This happened one play after Jackson discovered that Sammy Watkins was on a mismatch for a pass of 49 yards. So what about Carr then? Carr connected on a good 37-yard pass to Henry Ruggs III that established a 10-yard TD to Darren Waller, and that too with only 3 minutes 44 to play. The tweet from @CamFromCanada23 has to be a must mention here. "I'm so so happy for Zay Jones. He was such a great college player at a small school. Then he had a lot of trouble with mental illness, childhood trauma, and substance abuse. Today he's on top of the world. Amazing miracle. After the match was over, when Carr was interviewed by the broadcast, he had said that ever since Zay Jones had entered their team, every time that Carr asked someone to throw, Zay used to be there right at 6 a.m. Carr also praised Zay by saying to see him come up as the winner of the game and the last couple of times that they had practiced together on Monday night, it could be said that no wonder why Zay got 2 touchdowns. Carr even said that he earnestly hopes that the entire universe supports Zay Jones as he works harder and with greater zeal than any other player in the team. Now that we all know about the hilarious finish that had occurred in the NFL overtime thriller, let's acquaint ourselves more with the champ, Zay Jones. About Zay Jones' career-related news. From 2013 to 2016, Zay Jones had attended East Carolina by squandering a majority of the catches in the history of college football at the level of FBS and with 399 grabs. Being a senior in 2016, Jones had even got a hold of 158 catches for a great distance of 1,746 yards, along with remarkable 8 scores in one of the most highly fruitful receiving seasons in the history of college football. Do you know that these 158 catches formed the single-season record of NCAA? Quite a fascinating record-breaking fact, right? In 2018, Jones caught 56 passes for a great number of 652 yards along with 7 touchdowns. This happened before he was traded in the middle throughout the season of 2019. He then stuck to the Raiders. He continued catching 20 balls for 147 yards during the rest of the season. As you probably know, in 2020, Jones got a hold of 14 passes for about 154 yards along with a score. Did you know that Jones has completely squandered 126 catches for 11 touchdowns along with approximately 1,400 receiving yards? We know it's astonishing, but it is what it is. What is the reason behind Bills trading Zay Jones? In 2017, the Bills traded up to take Jones to the second round of the 2017 draft out of the entire East Carolina. For Jones, it was a golden opportunity to revive his career. The Buffalo Bills had conducted the trade in return for a pick in the 5th round of the 2021 draft. What's upcoming in the NFL world? The answer to the much-asked question is finally here. The 2 teams will come before the AFC contenders. The time is coming when the Raiders will be at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens will be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. What's going to happen is definitely worth waiting for. After all, most of us here are football lovers, and such an interesting epoch in the world of NFL is sure to get us hooked to such events. Let's wait and see how things move ahead. Final words. Now we've come to the end of this NFL video. Goodbye for now.